Okay, in this example, we are going to try without a calculator to find the exact value of cosine of 22.5 degrees. Now, if you read that problem carefully, there are two pretty significant hints in here. First, they say we're going to use the special right triangles, as in either a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45, 90. And also, they suggest using the half argument properties to do this. What we have right now does not look like a half argument property. So that is goal or task number one here. Can we rewrite cosine of 22.5 as cosine of something that fits the format of a half argument property? And they all look like this, cosine of half of something. So task number one, let's figure out what that something is. And this is not a direction we're used to going, but you can figure this out. This would have to be 45. So that half of 45, that is still equivalent to 22.5. We're very comfortable with going this direction, but not the other way around. Okay, that's step one, is let's rewrite so it fits the format of a half argument property. Now let's just set up here our formula for a half argument property. Looks like this: plus or minus square root of, and this is right from the formula sheet, cosine of x plus 1 over 2. We know we need to choose a plus or a minus, so let's do that right now. I'm going to do that off to the side here. I'm going to decide which one of those I want. Now, because we're finding, go back to the beginning of the problem, cosine of 22.5 degrees, that falls here in quadrant 1, so we're going to choose the positive. All trig functions are positive in quadrant 1. The next layer of this, let's actually plug some things in here for cosine of x. If we go back to how we rephrased cosine of 22.5, and what lines up with the formula sheet, it says cosine of 1/2 x, so our x is 45 degrees. So here, x needs to be 45 degrees. So this should look like the positive, I'll stop writing that eventually, but cosine of 45 plus 1 over 2. We have seen several examples like this where they didn't give us the angle, but they gave us the ratio, so we would plug that in instead. This time we just know the angle. We need to figure out the ratio on our own, but 45 is a special angle. We have this special right triangle we can work with, a 45, 45, 90. This one is 1 square root of 2. We want cosine of 45, so we're looking at adjacent over hypotenuse. You could rationalize it, or if you pulled this, if you know this still from the unit circle, you might have had root 2 over 2. For now, I think it's fine if we just leave this as 1 over the square root of 2, and then the rest of the formula stays the same. So what we just did, the substituting that just occurred here, cosine of 45 came out, its ratio, the SOHCAHTOA ratio, went in its place. Now, that is sort of the bulk of the problem. We have a value there, but that is not simplified. So if you want to go all the way to that like extra credit level and get this simplified, let's keep going. First thing, we're going to turn that numerator just into one big fraction. So let's maybe make this 1 a root 2 over root 2 so that we have a common denominator. So we have in the top, and it's a little messy, but it becomes 1 plus root 2 over that common denominator of square root of 2 over the 2 still. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little keep change flip. So I've got 1 plus root 2 over root 2 times, instead of divided by 2, I'm going to multiply by 1/2. That puts me here. Multiply across, so I've got 1 plus the square root of 2 on the top, 2 times the square root of 2 on the bottom, and I have a square root on the bottom, so that needs rationalized. Let's multiply everything inside here by root 2 over root 2. This is my rationalizing step. I don't know that we ever have rationalized when that square root is inside another square root before. The numerator, just be careful here because that needs distributed, but it's doable. We can do this. So we've got square root of 2 here, that's this product, plus, think about this product, square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is just 2, over, be careful here, we're not distributing multiple times. I'm going to multiply this whole thing by a square root of 2. So this 2 stays here. This product, it's a little messy here, turns into another 2. Or just a 4 on the bottom. Feel free to pause, rewind, and do that piece again if you need. And then, oh my goodness, the last final piece here, that 4 is a perfect square, so let's take it out. If you want, maybe, should we do this first? Let's separate and then get that out of the square root because it's a perfect square. Numerator stays the same. Then we're done. Nothing left to do with that. You could put a 1/2 if you want to write this is a very similar, still equivalent version. Okay, but we know this is simplified because I don't have any compound fractions anymore. I don't have to rationalize. I've done that already, and any square roots got pulled out, or excuse me, any perfect squares got pulled out of the square root. Okay, that's it.